Hey guys, Nuzley here, and today we're back with another YouTube video. Today, as the title would suggest, we're going to be power scaling Dragon Ball Z. We won't be including Dragon Ball Super, that'll be saved for another video because I don't want this being too long. And we won't be including any Dragon Ball Z movie feats. That'll be included in the Dragon Ball GT video, which will also come soon, or in some time. We also will be including anime only feats as well, so yeah, let's just get right into this video. To start, we're going to be looking at a feat that's quite infamous and we've used quite a fair few times in the channel. Piccolo destroying the moon. And this is a planet level feat because the shockwaves could be felt on Earth, and obviously the explosion was much more than what you would need to destroy a moon. And it's been calculated out to 4.82 yotatons of TNT. And now, the very start of Dragon Ball, or at least the first three main arcs, are really heavily maths based if you want to figure out the powers, because it heavily relies on power levels. So in order to find, each and every other character's power output, you divide their power level by weighted Piccolos, which at the time was 322, and then times it by 4.82 to then find their power output. So from this we can gather how powerful the likes of Raditz, Goku, and an enraged Gohan were at the time, which are all around planet level feats still. Piccolo then trains Gohan for 3 years before, the Saiyans arrive, and the humans train at Kami's Lookout, and of course their power exponentially increases. Piccolo's increases up to the highest amount, that being 3,500, which would then mean that his power output is the equivalent of around 52 yotatons of TNT. And it's also notable that King Kai's official power level is also the same as Piccolo's, so he would be able to output the same too. The other humans as well range from about 1,800 down to 970. Even this big fat hairy boy is also planetary. Gohan, of course, gets more powerful with his rage boosts. However, this time it's kind of unquantifiable since we're not given an official amount or an official number for that. Now, for the rest of the attack potency point or power up until the end of the Frieza saga, we're going to be using a better feat, and that is King Vegeta destroying 3 planets with the swipe of his hand, which would therefore calculate out to 13 ninetons of TNT, which is a dwarf star level feat. And of course Nappa has a power level of 5,000, which is half of King Vegeta's, which is 10,000, which would therefore have his power level at 6.5 ninetons, or very large planet level on the cusp of dwarf star. We then of course use the King Vegeta feat for Goku's respective forms, for Kaioken that is, and each level also being obviously dwarf star level, since he's of course higher than King Vegeta. For Prince Vegeta now, we of course know the infamous statement of him being able to destroy planet Earth. However, given the feats and statements we've just used, we know him to be much more powerful than that. So Vegeta, with a power level of 18,000, of course, would then translate to 23 ninetons of TNT, and then his Ozaru form, 234 ninetons of TNT, since it's a 10 times multiplier. Zarbon and Dodoria, of course, are a little bit more powerful than that, just below 30 ninetons of TNT. And then Krillin and Gohan both have their potentials unlocked and reach higher levels of power, as you would expect. Of course, then we have Nail, who has a power level of 42,000, which would then therefore make his powered output bare minimum 54.6 ninetons of TNT. Captain Ginyu had a power level of 120,000, and of course, therefore he had 156 ninetons of TNT. And Goku and it's called the Captain Ginyu saga in the wiki, but we all just call it the Namek saga. In base, had a power level of 90,000, and with a theoretical Kaioken times 10, had 900,000, which is the first character to hit the tenatons of TNT mark. First form Frieza had a power level of around 530,000, and so of course, inputting the multipliers we've done already, you would have around 600 ninetons of TNT. Piccolo, after fusing with Nail, becomes powerful enough to fight second form Frieza, who had a power level of around 1 million. And of course then, this would then equate to them both having the power equivalent to 1.3 tenatons of TNT. Now, Kaioken times 20 Goku and 50% Frieza both have the same power level, So they both are able to output around 78 tenatons of TNT, which are the first small star level feats and characters in the series, and Full Power Frieza and Super Saiyan Goku both hit 156 tenatons of TNT and 195 tenatons of TNT, which are also the first two characters to hit normal star level too. And then when Frieza destroys Planet Namek, the calculation itself, like of the big explosion, it's actually been calculated out to be 943 megafo, which is a solar system level feat. And now, this is only in the anime, it's not in the manga, but you know, as we said, we're using anime feats as well. So yeah, Frieza would also be solar system level here, as well as Super Saiyan Goku. Frieza then comes back and is estimated to be around 10 times more powerful as it was on Namek, which would therefore have him at around 9.43 gigafo. And of course, Future Trunks absolutely cuts him up like butter and destroys him. And Super Saiyan Goku has been shown to be above Super Saiyan Trunks. And now the androids that attacked the city, I think it was West City, have been stated more powerful than Frieza, and within the training that happened over these several years, Piccolo trained along with base Goku to get more powerful than Frieza, or more powerful than androids that were more powerful than Frieza, and of course he was able to absolutely destroy Dr. Gero. So this would imply that they got, or at least Goku got 50 times more powerful, and Super Vegeta would also scale to Super Saiyan Goku at that time. And now we're at the point in the story where everyone is mostly featless for the entire time. Obviously we know they get stronger by quite a substantial amount, but there are no concrete feats up until the end of the Cell games, where Super Perfect Cell said he was going to destroy the solar system. And the solar system within Dragon Ball was stated to be a galactic nebula, or at least that's where Earth is. And this would therefore mean that Cell is galaxy level. Of course, in the manga, this would be like completely outlandish, but when comparing to the anime feats, it's not that too far-fetched. And of course, Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, you know, beat him while injured and only had one arm. The next feat we have is coming from the filler arc in between the Cell games and the start of the Majin Buu saga, and that is when Pikkon, with weighted clothing, one-shots Super Perfect Cell, and then Goku is then later stated to be equal to, in base, to weighted Pikkon, which means that Goku in base, after dying, and arguably training a little bit, is on Super Saiyan 2 Gohan level. So yeah, base Goku would be galaxy level going by the self-feating statement. Goku of then course has the Super Saiyan multipliers on top of that, so you get up to Super Saiyan 3 Goku in the Buu Saga and he's bare minimum 400 times galaxy level. Dabura is stated to be on par with Cell in terms of power as well, and with Super Saiyan 2 Gohan struggling with them, it shows that while he has regressed, it hasn't been by an extreme significant amount. Super Saiyan 2 Majin Vegeta, of course, is on par with Super Saiyan 2 Goku, who should be around 100 times galaxy level going by the Super Saiyan 2 multiplier. And Majin Buu absolutely slapped up Super Saiyan 2 Gohan and Super Saiyan 2 Majin Vegeta. And Piccolo stated that it would take 3 Super Saiyan 2s to, like, even then with 3 Super Saiyan 2s, sorry, they wouldn't stand a chance, which makes sense because Super Saiyan 4, which is 4 times Super Saiyan 2, was able to beat him. So you could say that Majin Buu is around 400 times galaxy level as well, and then you have times that by 2 for Super Buu, since Evil Buu was just a slightly more powerful version of Majin Buu, so it's a bare minimum 2 times increase, so it'd be 800 times galaxy level. And then Ultimate Gohan comes along and slaps up Super Buu. Ultimate Gohan stated to be the strongest unfused character within Dragon Ball Z. And then, of course, Buu absorbs Gotenks and Piccolo and absolutely destroys Gohan. But when the fusion timer runs out, Buccolo, as he's referred to as, becomes so weak that Gohan can deal with them. Buu then absorbs Gohan and went angrily screaming was going to collapse the living universe, which would therefore have Buuhan at Universal and bare minimum multi-galaxy. And Super Vegito, of course, comes along and absolutely slaps around Super Buu. And he's able to do this in his base form as well, which means that Super Vegito's bare minimum 50 times Universal, going by this logic. Then, of course, he is able to get out all of the characters who were absorbed into Super Buu, and this then creates Kid Buu. And Kid Buu was threatening to destroy the Grand Kai planet, which is a universe in diameter, which would therefore mean that Kid Buu is also at least low universal, And it would also mean that Gohan and Bootank's scales to this too, since Gohan had been stated, strongest unfused character, and Bootank is stronger than Ultimate Gohan. So you have several characters within the Buu saga who are already universal. And as for Vegito, the fusion multiplier is kind of vague. The Dazenshu says that it's roughly more powerful than Super Saiyan 3 Goku. A Chinese guide says that it's roughly more powerful than Super Saiyan 4 Goku. And of course, the main guide that's used is Fighter times Fighter. As we know, Vegito is bare minimum already universal. So, if you were to use the Super Saiyan 4 argument, which technically isn't canon whatsoever, but if you wanted to highball him to this extent, we know that Super Saiyan 4 is bare minimum 200,000 times multiplier, but we also know that Super Saiyan 4 Goku, at the very end of Dragon Ball GT, going by the GT Goku versus Dragon Ball Super Manga Goku video that I made a while ago, is around 200 billion times universal. And then, of course, he times that by 50, and yeah, Vegeto's slightly a little bit beyond universal. As for the overall speed of the verse, I'm not going to spend as much time on this because this video is already really long. So I'm going to skip over several things. If you want to figure out the speeds of individual characters themselves that I won't bring up, then feel free to do so. It's the same kind of maths that you do for this. Piccolo destroyed the moon at relativistic speeds, or more specifically 0.128 times the speed of light. You divide the character's power level by that, and then times it by 0.128, and then you have their speed. So then you have the likes of Raditz, who's 1.3 times the speed of light. You have Nappa, Vegeta, and Goku from the same saga, all faster than the speed of light. Super Saiyan Goku being 59,000 times the speed of light, which would then obviously scale to Piccolo and Super Vegeta in the next arc, with Frieza not being too far behind either. Now, I know there's a feat of Goku travelling around to the other side of Namek in a second, which is technically slightly faster than Piccolo destroying the moon at 0.133 times the speed of light, but it doesn't give nearly as big as a multiplier to the other characters, so it's not actually as fast when you're putting in the maths. Buu then destroys galaxies over several years, which would then calculate out to around 22 trillion times the speed of light. But of course we have a better feat in the filler, where base Goku and Pikkon travel the afterlife in an extremely short amount of time, which therefore calculates out to 1.88 septillion times the speed of light, and this is just for base Goku. So if you put in the Super Saiyan 3 multipliers for Super Saiyan 3 Goku, and Super Saiyan 2 multipliers to get Super Saiyan 2 Majin Vegeta, and you get hundreds of septillions of times the speed of light. Now, most of every other character is very, we know obviously we get powerful, but it's by unquantifiable amounts, so you can't really say how fast they are. This is why we didn't really go over many Cell Saga characters, and that's why there's not many Majin Buu Saga characters here either. But for Vegito, the one character that we can calculate for, if you go by the X times X multiplier fusion formula, then you would easily have 13 decillion times the speed of light as Super Vegito, and if you go by the Super Saiyan 4 multiplier for the Chinese guide, then you'd have 28 tredecillion times the speed of light, which, yeah, he's a little bit faster than you might expect at first. For abilities, weapons, and items, we're going to start off with the multipliers. The Ozaru form is a 10 times multiplier. The Kaioken is, well, whatever you decide to times it by. For example, if it's Kaioken times 20, it's a 20 times multiplier. Super Saiyan is a times 50 multiplier, Super Saiyan 2 is a 100 times multiplier, and Super Saiyan 4 is a 400 times multiplier. The Saiyans have an ability to get stronger every time they take damage and heal from it. This is of course exploited within the Namek and Frieza sagas to get exponential power boosts, and it's exploited later on in Dragon Ball Super with another character who just is absolutely insane. The Namekians have the ability to regenerate, and Frieza, or at least starting from Frieza, you start to see telekinesis in fights. And Goku also has telepathy too. You have flights, he can sense where people are, he can fire energy beams, because it's Dragon Ball. Which then means that Cell, with, he has the abilities and technique of every single, of the strongest fighters that ever touched Earth. Which means that whenever he gets hurt, he can regenerate and exploit the Zenkai boosts from it. You can split yourself into multiple people if you know the multi-form technique. The only downside to this is that your power gets halved with each split. You also have senzu beans, which of course heal all wounds, but nothing to do with illnesses. The Patara earrings, which can make two fighters fuse for a certain length of time, depending on how much power you use. The fusion dance, which is a more complex version of that, but has a set time limit of, half an hour. Cell and Majin Buu can absorb people. Cell does this through either drinking them or just opening up his tail and just drinking them in. Meanwhile, Majin Buu can, if he separates one piece of himself and it latches onto them, he can then absorb them from there. Goku and Super Perfect Cell can also teleport with instant transmission along with the Kais and King Kai himself. There's also the Z-Sword, which is a powerful weapon in its own right, and also boosts the power of the user if they train with it. Majin Buu can also turn people into food. Androids 16, 18 and 17 all have infinite stamina as well, so they can never tire out. And androids 19 and 20, or Doctor's Row, can absorb energy if they grab onto someone, or is able to just grab onto an energy blast. Majin Buu can also heal people as well. And that's it for this video. If you enjoyed this video, dislike and subscribe. Tell me everything I missed out in the comments, because I'm pretty sure I must have missed out at least something, because I went over this not very quickly, but I did speedrun this. If you want to see more power scaling videos of a verse in the future, let me know in the comments. I'll do Dragon Ball, how powerful is Dragon Ball Super and how powerful is Dragon Ball GT if the demand is high enough, and I will see you in the next video.